Hey makers, this is Droveen, and in this episode, I'm going to talk about A to Z about ontologies in Microsoft Fabric. So, let's get started. So, in this episode, first of all, I'm going to give you an overall idea about what is Microsoft Fabric IQ. We know that in Microsoft IQ, there are different type of IQs available. One of them is Fabric IQ. We will talk about what is that, what are the different layers in Fabric IQ, and why does it matters. Then we will slowly move towards the real topic, ontologies in Fabric. Specifically, we will be talking about the core concept, that how you can set up the entities, properties, relationship in Fabric ontologies. Also, we'll understand the real purpose, that why ontologies is needed and how it is helpful to us to avoid the hallucination situation while building the data agent. We'll be talking about the different type of environment preparation along with full end-to-end practical demonstration of building an ontology to testing the ontology. And once we test our ontology, at the end we will consume that ontology with our fabric agent as well and ask some natural language question and test out the result over them. So that is the full end-to-end agenda for today. So stay tuned till end. And if you are for the very first time to my channel, make sure you hit thumbs up, subscribe my channel and follow me on my Instagram and Twitter. The links are available in the description box. So very first, let's try to understand what is Microsoft Fabric IQ. And before we understand the Microsoft Fabric IQ, we need to understand the enterprise intelligence layer of Microsoft stack. So basically, in the world of Microsoft, there are different type of IQs available. Work IQ, Foundry IQ, Web IQ, and Fabric IQ. So, Work IQ is basically responsible for how employees work in Microsoft 365. So, it is all about your office productivity products. Foundry IQ is all about policies and documents, and Azure AI Foundry is basically responsible for that. Web IQ is simply the context from the web that you are searching from, and the best example of that is Bing search. Now, at data layer, they are having this Fabric IQ. And this Fabric IQ is basically consider how your businesses work. So basically it consider your business entities and data. And that for that, Microsoft Fabric is something which is responsible for. So in short, Fabric IQ is basically a workload into Microsoft Fabric that elevates the raw data to the language of your businesses, because this is enabling both people and AI agent to reason in terms of business concept, not table and just schema. So in short, Fabric, specifically the Fabric IQ, is a additional workload in Microsoft Fabric. Okay, so what happen here is most of the time when you are using some data agent, when you are using some AI, the biggest problem with the data is hallucination. Because of hallucination, you are not getting the desired result set that you are looking over there. So Fabric IQ is basically elevates that raw data in the language of your business, that how your businesses are working. Okay, but this is the overall idea about the Microsoft IQ and specifically the Fabric IQ part, which is available as a part of Microsoft Fabric. We are not going to talk right now about Work IQ, Foundry IQ, and Web IQ, because that is totally handled by the different set of product in Microsoft 365. Okay, so now let's go one more level up from here and talks about why Fabric IQ. What are the key reasons to choose Fabric IQ? So, number one reason is we already know that it elevates the raw data to the language of your business and provide the context on the state of your business. And it enables people and AI agent to reason in terms of business concept and grounded in analytical, real-time and operational data stored in your OneLake. So these are the main key reason to choose the Fabric IQ. Now in the Fabric, there are specifically three important layer available as a part of the Fabric IQ. The first layer of your Fabric IQ is your OneLake, where your unified data is structured. Then we are having the semantic model, which on which we can build our Power BI report. We know what is semantic model in Fabric, right? So OneLake is a central place of source where you are merging and capturing all the data from the different data sources. Semantic model is the place from where you are building your Power BI report, and on top of that, you are having IQ, which is your operational intelligence, and that's where the Fabric IQ come up into picture. And to use the Fabric IQ, there is a concept available called ontologies that can be consumed widely in the Power BI space. At this point, this ontologies feature is in preview at this point. But when you are watching this recording and if there is it is live, then just check the official Microsoft documentation around that. And people and agent are the consumer who is going to use your IQ. Okay, which is basically giving you total business concept of your semantic model and the data available in your OneLake, and from there it will give you the desired set of results. So this is the overall layers available in the world of Fabric IQ. As I said, unified data is in OneLake, business intelligence, Power BI semantic model, basically creating the analytical layer. Inside that, you are having the measure, hierarchy, dimension, and generate ontologies directly from the existing semantic model that is also available. And at the end, layer 3, we are having the operational ontologies, which defines the core entities, relationship, rules, businesses, and AI agent can understand this available action. And simply the natural language querying via NL2O ontologies, which no SQL required, and operation agent monitor live data and take the governed action. Now I know this is something which you are still unable to understand what exactly ontologies is, so don't worry about that. I'll wait for a few more minutes. It will be 100% covered over here. But in short, Fabric IQ is derived through mainly two core items: ontologies plus semantic model over the one link. Okay. Now let's talk about why we should use Fabric IQ. Uh, what is the problem if you're not using Fabric IQ versus using the Fabric IQ? Uh, so the number one thing is that uh, if you are not using the IQ, tables and schema built for the machines, not the human meaning. An AI agent is basically hallucinate without semantic business context, and every agent need the manual prompt engineering and duplicate definition across the terms and tools. Also, cross-domain query require complex SQL join to get the desired set of results. So the biggest challenge here is table and schema. It no matter it's within your semantic model, or yeah, if you are having the separate way of getting that particular data, it is built for the machines in the sense, like let's say you are building the Power BI report on top of semantic model, so it is for that, not the human meaning. It is not, by looking at the table, it is not giving you the meaning that okay, what's the purpose of this particular table, or let's say for an example how the tables are related with each other. It doesn't derive that relationship over there in a first eye, right? And if you want to do that, what happen here is like to train this AI model, lots of prompt engineering you need to do, and lots of work you need to do it, and complex drawing you need to make it up. So lots of thing you are building over here in order to make your model to be available to consume at AI. So these are some common problem, and the biggest problem is the hallucination, because it doesn't aware about the complete business dictionary that you are using in your day-to-day routine. Now with Fabric IQ, business vocabulary that everyone speak, whether it's a human and agents, can be built. So we are more providing around the natural language context over here. And basically it give you the more semantic grounding, which eliminates the AI hallucination and build once and all the agents reuse that automatically, and single source of truth for all the business concept, and cross-domain reasoning via graph traversal. So no SQL is required in order to get the desired result set. We'll see with practical demonstration, so you will get a better understanding around that. What do we mean by that? And in order to use this Fabric IQ, we have the terminology of ontologies in detail. So in the Fabric IQ framework, you are having the unify the data assets, then you process and harmonize your data, then curate the semantic knowledge, and semantic knowledge can be consumed into the AI agents. So that's the Fabric IQ framework. Now, in Fabric IQ, to support this all the things, ontologies is the main key things. And this is the heart of today's session, that what is an ontology. Now let me explain you what ontology means by in a simple term. So ontology is basically a context which your AI agents and as a human you can understand of your business data, and that is available as a part of the Fabric IQ. So basically in textbook definition, ontologies is a shared and machine reliable vocabulary for your business which includes your entities, their properties, and how they connect. So basically, it connects all your tables available in your semantic table between their relationship and how they are connecting internally and how your overall business is working. So, in simple terms, consider in this particular way, whenever you are uh, getting any data from LLM, right? You are providing the context that, okay, in which context you need to think around and what type of result you are expecting from your data, right? So overall here in Fabric, that is the biggest limitation. Many times you are having multiple tables, and sometimes tables names is also something which is like a machine readable, right? It's not like a human understandable or AI agent understandable. So rather than writing lots of prompt and those things, we are providing the full context of our business data, that okay, you are having your sales, you are having your locations, you are having your different products, how all these tables are related to each other, and you are creating the complete end-to-end entities, tables, relationship, and how they connect with each other. You provide the complete context layer to your AI agent so that it can understand easily and it can answer that out without more hallucination problem and no complex SQL join, and those are the things you need to do it. So basically, simply, it's a context layer between your business data and your AI agent or any machine readable form. It basically has mainly three core concepts: entity types, properties, and relationship. But we will not explain over here entity type, properties, and relationship theoretically. But theory is boring. We will see directly with the practical how that looks like in the real action. But before we get started with ontologies, there are certain settings that we need to enable from our Power BI admin center in order to use the Fabric IQ ontologies. So what are those features? Let's talk about that. Number one feature that you need to enable from your admin center to use the Fabric IQ ontology is this feature. Go to the tenant settings from your admin portal and make sure enable ontology item. This feature is enabled in your preview. Second important thing is around to activating some feature for Fabric data agent, because at the end, once we build the ontologies, we are going to consume that within our Fabric data agent. For that, there are a couple of options available. Number one is go to the tenant setting and enable this feature, Copilot and Azure OpenAI service. And specifically this feature, user can use Copilot and other feature powered by Azure OpenAI. Make sure this is enabled. Second feature that you need as an enablement over here is data sent to Azure OpenAI can be processed outside your organization's capacity, geographical region, compliance boundary, or national instance. Second feature is this one. And third feature will be data sent to Azure OpenAI can be stored outside your capacity's geographical region, compliance boundary, or national cloud instance. So these three features need to be enabled for the Fabric data agent. So make sure this overall four settings you are enabling before you start with the Ontologies and Fabric IQ data agent. Now, let's see in action what we are going to implement in today's session as an overall ontology development, along with that consuming those ontologies into Fabric data agent with the real action, and then we will come back to the slides again to talk more about the theoretical concept. So here I am on my machine, and here I have opened my Fabric workspace. In this Fabric workspace, I have loaded the data already in my Lakehouse just for this demonstration purpose. And I'm going to explain you with a very simple example at this point of time. So simply, this is what I'm having as a part of my Lakehouse called Ontology Data Lakehouse. In this Lakehouse, I am having mainly the four different tables at this point of time. One is product table, second one is store table, then I'm having sales table, and I'm having freezer table. So if you look at this, dimension product is basically covering the master data for the product. Dimension store is basically covering the store information over here on the screen. Fact sales is basically having the different kinds of sales data like sales start date, sales end date, product ID, and it has the relationship with the other stuff as well. And there is one more table called freezer over here, which is covering the freezers associated with the different stores. So these are the different information I'm having at this point of time. Now, what I am going to do is building one semantic model on top of my lakehouse. And we know that lakehouse can have more than one semantic model depending on our report requirement. So let's build the semantic model on top of that. And to make the life easier, right now I'm going to just talk about the three important table into my semantic model. So let's build one semantic model here. To build the ontologies, there are two approaches. Either you can build it out from semantic model or you can build it out from scratch as well. So right now I'm just going with the semantic model approach. So let's click on new semantic model over here and let's provide the name of the semantic model. So I'm just providing my semantic model name as YT ontology demo class 01. And now let's select the table that you want as a part of your ontology. So I'm selecting this three table right now for setting up my ontology in semantic model. So click on confirm and let's build the semantic model. Once you click on create, it will build the semantic model in the background for you. And then we will start establishing the relationship between our semantic model. And here I am, my semantic model table is ready. Simply now let's establish the relationship, and for that I'm keeping this fact table in the center and two dimension table as side by side. Now we already know the relationship between these three tables. So product ID will be associated with sales product ID over here. So let's establish the relationship between our fact and dimension table over here. So first relationship will be going with product and sales table. So I'm just going over here like this way. And second relationship I'm going to set up between my store and store ID from the fact table. So simply let's drag these two columns over here, store ID to store ID over here, and that relationship has been established successfully. So here it is, it's all ready. Now let's go and build the ontology on top of that. Now at this point of time, either you can choose directly the semantic model to create the ontology, or if you don't want in this particular fashion, then you can build the ontologies from scratch as well. So let's talk about this approach directly from the semantic model. So for that, I'm simply clicking on generate ontology option from here. So let's click on that. As soon as you click on that, get started option will be appearing, and now I'm just simply keeping the same name, and let's click on create to set it up our ontology from scratch. So this is being creating, and here I am. My ontology creation is in progress. It will take some moment to set up the complete ontology over here. Now remember one thing, whenever you are setting up ontology from the semantic model, it's pretty much faster and easier approach. If you are building ontologies completely from scratch, at that time you need to set up everything over there manually. But here, when you set this ontology from semantic model, here you are, and your ontology is completely available over here. Now at the very beginning in the slides, I have explained the three main component of the ontology: entities and relationship. So this is what the entity type looks like over here. All the entities are available as an entity type in your ontology over here. Now this is basically loading some your ontology. Just wait for some time for some feature to be appear. Let this to be completely loaded over here, and by the time when you are clicking on any of the table over here, so let's say for an example you are selecting your sales table over here. So basically it is showing you the relationship between your other table over here. So you can see here in this particular graph, you can see the complete picture of the ontology, that okay, fact sales is basically associated with your store table as well as your product table, and it is showing all the relationship as well over here. So basically ontology is having how your entities properties and relationship connects with all together. Okay, so now we are able to see this practically over here, that these are your different entity types. Underneath that you are having different entities. If you want to look at the properties of your entities, you simply need to click on there, and there is an option over here, view entity type details. So you can see the detailing around each entity over here. Okay, and this is basically showing all the properties of your entities over here, and it is also showing you that from where it is connected. So basically this is connecting from your data source, which is coming from your OneLake. So that's what it is showing to you over here, and also it is showing the relationship over here as well. So right now, let's say if you click on your dimension product over here, you can see that this is what your dimension product looks like, and this is your sales looks like over here, and this is the relationship in between them together over here. Okay, now what we will do one by one over here is, currently it is like a machine readable format. So again, like as a report developer, we are just using simply this name because these names are simply coming from your semantic model. Now ontologies, we are simply trying to provide some more business context, that how is business connected with this particular data. So we are setting up the context layer with the ontology. So let's just provide some better name to our entity over here. And for that, I'm simply start clicking off my entities over here one by one. So first entity is this one, dimension store. So let's click on that and click on view entity type details. Now over here, let me just rename my stuff over here. And for that, I'm clicking on rename over here, and let's provide the proper name over here called store. So instead of dimension store, I just wanted to keep the name as a store over here. So let's just provide that name over here. Perfect. Now simply I'm selecting my another entity over here called dimension product, and for that I would like to rename over here as a simply the products. So I'm just providing the name over here as a products. Okay, so simply I'm just providing that. And last one is fact sales. So over here I'm just renaming this as my sales data, sales. That's it. I don't want to have any other name over here. Perfect. So I just provided the proper name over here. Now let's go to the home again, and let's refresh our screen. As soon as you refresh the screen, your an ontology diagram also reflect that those particular names over here. So store, sales, and product. Okay. Now let's click on each of them over here, and from here as well you can see the particular relationship among them. Now let's click on this particular relationship name as well over here. So fact sales has dimension store. It is just having this particular way. Okay. So once you click on that relationship name, it is showing you the relationship name over here as well. So sales to store, it is showing this particular relationship over here to you. Okay, and even right now, let's say if you are just going over here on your sales table over here right now, let's click on view entity type details over here. So over here right now, there is no entity type key is defined, so make sure the key is defined over here. For other two tables it's already defined, but this is your fact table, so for that it doesn't define the entity type. So let's click on define entity type, and overall here I'm just creating define entity type key, and over here I'm just selecting sales ID because this is my sales table, so sales ID can be considered as your primary key. So I'm just setting up this at this point of time, and let's click on save. So your fact tables primary key is being set up, and make sure you are having the primary key set up for each table. So sales is all set. Let's see if I'm opening the product, so you can see here entity type key is already product ID, and for store you can see entity type key is already store ID over here. So perfect, and sales we just set it up as a sales ID, so looks all good. You can provide some better description over here as well for each column if you want. So if you just wanted to provide edit property name or edit property metadata over here, just provide some more description over here so that your AI or business context can easily be set up. Right now I'm not setting up for each and every columns over here, but this is how overall it looks like. Now what I'm doing here is I'm simply over here in between my stores and sales, and then sales and my products. I'm simply clicking on this first relationship which is connecting this two table over here. So I'm just clicking on that, and overall here I'm having my sales ID, and overall here I'm having my store data over here. Let's provide some better relationship over better relationship name over here. Okay, so I'm just providing my relationship in name in a better way over here, like a from, and overall here click on browse available option. So let's select the mapping table over here. So how my two tables are connected with each other, let's talk about that. So store table is connected with my sales table, so I'm just selecting my store over here, and from here I'm selecting my store ID, and from sales ID let me just do one thing, fact sales, let me select. So sales ID is associated with my store ID over here, and let's set up that relationship and click on save. So I'm just setting up this first relationship in a more better way over here, and same way I'm just going back over here, and this is why my another relationship set up over here. Okay, so this is in between sales and products relationship over here. So I'm just setting up over here providing the relationship name as sold over here, product sales, right? Sold, I'm just providing this name. Let me select my fact table over here, sales ID, and my product ID from this one over here, and let me click on a save over here, and that's something which is setting up the relationship between sales and product over here. So make sure this is being set up, both of your relationship is also having some better name over here. You can give any name depending on your business relationship. I think I added incorrect spelling, sold. Okay, perfect. And now let me just go back and let me refresh my screen over here. As soon as you refresh the screen, you can see that completely the better relationship names are also being visible over here. So now your ontology mapping, or how the tables are connected with each other, is completely being visible now over here. Now, in order to see the data within your entity ontology, what you will do here, let's see that. So first of all, let's try to understand one more thing. So whenever you build this ontology, in the background, if you look at this one, this is being created in the background, it will show you everything that for which lakehouse, for which SQL analytics endpoint it is connected, and behind the scene you are having this type of graph model as well being prepared, that how your tables are interlinked with each other. Now I'm simply clicking on my ontology again over here, and I'm just clicking on sales over here at this point of time. Now let's click on couple of things over here. So when you are clicking on the expand option over here from sales, this is what you are able to see. Right now, let's go to the overview section over here. And basically, it will start showing you the ontology graph over here and showing you some insightful data that how that sales is related with your store and with your product and what's the relationship in between these two. And according to that, it started showing up some sort of analytics as well for you. So let's wait for some moment over here. And when you go to the instances over here, basically it is start building some instances based on your data and doing some aggregation and showing to you as well. And if you are just clicking on any of the insight, you will get the detailing around that as well over here. So with regards to that, how your different connectivity with your sales and product will going to be look like, it is showing you that detailing over here as a part of the business context. Now I'm just going back over here and going to the overview section over here, and see, this is where also some relationship graph started showing up over here. Relationship graph with regards to the sales and product, and here you are having couple of information that okay, you are clicking on product, so what direction it is following your relationship and everything. And if you do not want to consider any other thing, you can simply delete and just have your two graphs like this way and look at your data over here. So high level insight, it is just offering you over here at this point of time. For each table, you can simply look at this out. So product and sales as well, you can see that store and product as well, you can able to see some sort of insight. So this is basically the in-depth analytics that ontology is basically showing to you. But the main purpose of the ontology is not just you just checking this, but it also offering you some sort of query capability over here. So let's say I'm clicking on expand option over here. So you can see here when I expanded over here in my section over here, it is showing you component section where you can see all your entities and how their ages are connected with each other. So let's say for an example, if you need anything, let's say for an example, I'm removing everything. So there is an option of add a node. So right now you can see that as soon as I click on add node, I can see that store, product and sales. So this is my sales. And let's say I wanted to see sales with store, I can have this. And from sales, I also want to see product, it can showing you over here as well. So now I just build up my overall query over here like this particular way. Now let's say for an example, I really want to see certain set of data over here, then I can simply clicking on run query over here. As soon as you click on run query, right now there is no filter. So basically it is showing you the complete graph of sales with regards to store and product, and complete showing you the graph in detailing. I know right now this graph is showing some more data over here. So let's say for an example, if you want to limit it out in certain way, that stores with regards to still, and I really don't want this dimension, I'm just removing this right now. So sales and store, what kind of data I'm having right now, let's see that. So overall here you can see that I'm having the stores in Berlin, Paris and Amsterdam over here right now. Right now you can check this thing with the card view as well. So when you do card view, you can see right now that okay, this sales and stores, what kind of data you are having over here. So these are different of your sales dimension, and with regards to that, what is the information related that particular sale, that is also being shown over here. So you can see here the different type of sales ID, store ID and that information over here. Right now, let's see, even if I'm removing this one and if I'm just keeping my store over here and simply clicking on run query, it will give me the store information over here. So let's say for an example, this is my store ID. Okay, let's I'm copying this, and now let's I'm adding my relationship back with the sales table over here. And now I'm just adding one more filter over here that show me the data of store, where store ID equals to this store ID. Click on apply and click on run query. As soon as you do the run query, you can see the only data for that particular store, and you can visualize that in the this type of diagram view as well as if you want to just view it out in the table view, it will show you the completely graph view as well, like this way, and you can distribute that over here. Now along with that, let me just add the product dimension over here as well. At this point, so I'm just adding the product dimension over here, and that's how it looks like. Let me just have it like this way. Perfect. And I'm just keeping this sold one over here like this. And now I'm just adding one more filter over here, and adding one more. I'm just removing this filter, resetting the filter, adding one more folder sale, and where sales revenue USD should be greater than or equal to 150. Okay, I'm just making this filter, and now let's look at the query results over here, and let me just look at in the card view. So this is where I can see those results as well, where sales revenue is more than 150 dollar over here. So three data of sales I can see it over here, and even if I just want to visualize in the diagram view, I can see it over here like this particular way as well over here. So that's how you can simply look at it around, that how it's gonna look like over here. Even it is providing you the query build query code editor as well. So if you simply wanted to write out the query by your own over here, it provide you that option as well. Otherwise, simply without much more joins, you can simply have it over here. Now, the thing is that once your ontology is prepared, it's time to consume that in a more natural language over here for ourselves. And to do that, we will consume now this ontology in our Fabric data agent and ask some more natural language questions over there, so that user can get the data the way they want, and complete context layer is simply able to create here. This is what the step I'm showing with the particular this graph and query. You really don't need to do anything over here. This is just for your understanding perspective. I just explain you that okay, here as well you can just see that how your ontologies are connected with each other and business context is related with each other. Okay, now the thing is that my ontology is now completely prepared. So now I'm just going to the home option. This is what it is right now. Now let's build the data agent on top of that. Now let's go back to the workspace and start setting up the Fabric data agent. For that, simply we are going to click on new item and search for the data agent over here. I'm clicking on that, and once provide the name of your data agent. I'm just providing my data agent name is retail ontology agent. Click on create. As soon as you click on create, let's just add our data sources over here in this Fabric data agent. We know that data agent we can prepare in multiple ways. For that, click on add data and click on data sources. Now over here from this particular selection, I'm going to select the ontology over here from my selection. So let's click on that and click on add over here. So once you do that, it is being setting up over here and all the tables are being visible to you over here. Now let's say this is my product, sales and store over here. Now what we need to simply do here is go to the agent instruction over here, and by default every Fabric data agent has this particular instruction box over here. I'm just adding one instruction over here at this point of time, which is like support the group by operation in GQL. So that's something I'm just simply providing right now over here. Nothing else I'm providing, but again, like a overall business context, if you want to define, you just provide it. So I'm just having that. Perfect. And now I'm just coming back over here, and now I will start testing my Fabric data agent over here. So the first question that I'm going to ask over here, that give me top 5 product by sales revenue. Okay, and now what happen here is basically it will refer your ontology, and again start giving you some better insights around that. So it start looking at your ontology, and it is showing you the overall process as well, that how it is being thinking. So it is basically using that as your context layer, start getting the insights from here, and start doing the aggregation and giving you the results over here into this particular way. Now let's I'm just sending like a top two regions by sales revenue. Let me just put this up. As soon as you do this activity, it will start giving you some more idea around that as well. So it start doing the aggregation, and see, this is what it is showing you in the data. Can you show in bar graph? And yep, it started showing the same thing in the bar graph over here. Okay, now with regards to that, if you need any more other stuff which is being shown over here, you can do it over here as well. Some sample questions also been provided over here, that analyze the recent data on my out years, or what are the historical trend across all my tables, all my data. If you just want to look at that, it just showing you over here and trying to answer you from your ontology layer in a more natural language over here, so that anyone can easily able to understand over here. So this is being preparing, and here I am. This has given the appropriate result over here in the chat message, and that is how it looks like. So that's how you can simply consume your ontologies in your Fabric data agent. So you will apply more natural language query and get the answers from there. So now just to summarize the final process over here, your users are asking the question to your Fabric agent. Your Fabric agent is basically using the ontology, and basically is using NL2 ontology in order to process your data from your OneLake or semantic model, and giving you the governed answer at the end of the result. And you can see that it's a zero SQL, so we are not writing any join or SQL queries. You just provide this type of natural language question, and according to that it will make the self join and give you the result, and again use this NL natural language to ontology, and giving you the overall business results over here. So basically this ontology will act as your Fabric IQ to get the desired result set from your overall semantic model. So it is providing the better context to your LLM, so it understand your business context, business terminology, how the data are connected with each other, and giving you the more accurate result over here. So that is all about ontology over here, and that's what I wanted to have as a part of this session. So what are the main key takeaways from this particular session is, number one is Fabric IQ is the enterprise intelligence layer, which is connected with your OneLake, your semantic model, and your ontology. And ontology is nothing but your shared business vocabulary, which is having entity types, properties, and relationship. And once we define it, we can reuse by humans or AI agents anywhere, and which avoids the hallucination and building context across the all the agents. So that's pretty much it for today. Hope this sessions help you and values your time. If you are for the first time to my channel, make sure you hit thumbs up and subscribe my channel, and don't forget to press the bell notification to never miss any updates from my channel. There are lots of premium content also available on my channel. You can explore the complete Power BI course, as well as responsive Canvas app and deployment pipeline course completely over here underneath one premium membership, which is less than a medium size of pizza pricing. So you can simply click on join button over here to join my premium membership over here. Also, if you are looking for any live training programs on Power Platform, you can always visit our website www.powerplatformtrainings.com. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram. The links are available in the description box. With that note, this is Dhruvin signing off. See you in the next episode with some amazing content. Till then, have a great day. Goodbye.